What's going on, people? We have got a tasty video for you lot today. I'm going to warn you straight off the bat. I don't usually do these type of videos, but I couldn't sleep last night. I was listening to Stretford Paddock and Carl Anker. Very, very good podcast. Would recommend you to watch. The podcast finishes, and what YouTube usually does is the algorithm will just push another video, that similar style, right, into your ears, and you continue listening, so you stay on that platform. Now, the algorithm decided to splurt some utter nonsense through my ears for whatever reason, right, and that nonsense happened to be the kickoff, which I think we can all agree, people, is just not the same since the OGs left and it completely collapsed, right? It's just not the same. Still has some decent lads on it who I don't mind listening to. But the whole conversation and the topic was about Manchester United, right? So I thought, you know what? Let's just give it a listen, see what they're saying, see what this is all about, and I'll just sit back 10 minutes and just really deep it, okay? And it was very, very evident from the first 5 minutes. This has to be the saltiest group of online pundits I think I've ever listened to. Apart from the kid from Chelsea, I think his name's Josh. He was actually pretty accurate and really good and well balanced. But apart from that, I mean, the Arsenal fan in particular, Josh, and True Geordie, honestly, I've never seen someone so triggered about United signing decent players, especially Mbeumo. And not only that, so much of the stuff that he was talking about as if it was gospel was just pure fucking lies. Like, they're using these things to kind of fuel their agenda. And honestly, about 80% of it was bollocks. Utter bollocks. So what we're going to do is we'll debunk all those myths. We will take a look at the comment section because I think there's some very interesting things in there. But first, we have to start with this. What on earth is that? Listen, I am in no position to attack anyone's kind of image or look. I'm a 5 out of 10, right? I'm relatively comfortable with that. I understand it. Everyone has their own flaws. Absolutely get it. Come on. What is that haircut, man? I'm not sure what's worse, his trim or his take on Bruno Fernandes, and I will get into that later on, believe me, because it is terrible. I also didn't know you could get haircuts in installments nowadays. And he talks about Bruno being a red flag as well. He needs to pay more attention to his barber, mate, because that is a giant fucking red flag if I've ever seen one. I will never, ever take anyone's opinion serious with a trim like that. Okay, so let's just clean that up first and foremost, and now we'll dive into the details. So, basically, the whole video is them discussing Man United with PSR, how are they buying all these players, and then straight off the bat, they're just slagging players off, and the manager like some school kids on the playground. So, the first thing I want to start with is the £250,000 wages with Mbeumo, right? Because there was some journalist who came out from the northeast, funnily enough, coming out saying, oh, the reason why Newcastle didn't go for it was because Mbeumo was demanding £250,000. So obviously True Geordie has took this as a pure source to fuel his agenda and was kind of preaching it, when Romano literally came out the other day and said it's not even going to be close to that. It may be a decent figure, like similar to Cunha, £180,000, for example, 200k, but it is not £250,000 a week. Because this is what people do in the media. They always inflate the wages and the fees, and you see it with when people, when a player is transferred, people start using different currencies to make it seem like it's more. Like, Declan Rice, for example, went for, let's say, £100 million. They'll say fucking 2 billion rupees just to make it seem more, so it does trigger fans. And this is exactly what these lot are doing as well. So the whole thing was basically just a super inflated lie, and the wages were super inflated. Then they went on to discuss Bruno Fernandes' situation with Saudi, and why would they get rid of Garnacho when you can get rid of Bruno and build around Garnacho? Bruh. And I'm like, is this serious punditry? Like, these guys, I've listened to some of them before. Like, they're very good on certain things. They're well researched, and they do the due diligence, and they know especially their teams very, very well. But they must have never watched United before. I must live in fucking cuckoo land, or they just don't read articles, or they don't watch United. Garnacho's attitude problem and social media outburst have been an issue since he's come into the team. Literally, in a pre-season, Bruno Fernandes was warning him about it and pulled him up about it under Eric Ten Hag. Like, this kid's ego is way higher than his actual ability. He goes on like he's Ronaldo, but doesn't play fucking like him. And he's Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is his idol, sorry. Is someone who he looks up to. Like, his ego is massive and way out of check. And Josh, actually, I said at the start of the show, he's someone who's actually quite good in his analysis. And he mentioned about squad harmony. And when you're trying to bring players together and have this cohesion, which every team needs, having players like him who were kicking up a fuss after the final because he only played 20 minutes or whatever, and he helped in the semis and the quarterfinals when the manager made the decision with Mount because he fit better or whatever the situation was. Ugarte didn't play or had. I don't think he played at all, and he played an important role in the semi-finals and quarterfinals. You don't see him coming out in the quarter after the game going mad and saying, "Oh, we should have played," or "We'll see what happens in the summer." Like, I'm sorry, mate, you're 20 years old. You're not a senior player here. You are a young kid. Get your fucking ego in check. That's why we've got the situation why we have at United. Sticking with Bruno as well, when it got announced or he made public that basically he was going to stay at United and he's not going to Saudi Arabia, which had been going on for the past couple of weeks. I think United did a post on social media basically like happy he's staying or whatever it was, right? Something along the lines of that. And an Arsenal fan of all people, are calling us basically cringy and this is small club mentality and all this kind of stuff. It's just like, you've got a coach there who hired a pickpocket at a fucking dinner to make sure you guys are switched on, and you've got a dog called win when you finish second every season. I don't need to say it. Everyone else knows it. Arsenal fans out of everyone are the most cringiest fan base. That is just, you want to talk facts, that is a fucking fact. Everyone thinks it, not just me, okay? Then they started to slag off Ruben Amorim and claim Thomas Frank is a better manager based on fucking what? I don't know. Look, Amorim's 6 months taking over this kind of Frankenstein squad mid-season. Obviously, it's been horrific. Every United fan knows that, right? But there is context to it. I don't see Thomas Frank with any league titles. I don't see Thomas Frank with any cups. I don't see Thomas Frank with any Super Cups. I don't see Thomas Frank doing what he did, what Ruben Amorim did with Sporting Lisbon, breaking that mold of Benfica or Porto, right? Thomas Frank is a really good manager, and what he's done with Brentford is insane. And I'm not making him look bad or anything, but come on. Like, there's got to be context or an argument or a debate. Just saying things straight off the cuff like that is... Do you know what I'm saying? And then they also say Amorim's not a good manager. I would advise you to listen to any current United player at the minute. Maybe not Rashford or Sancho because they've had terrible attitude issues as well, and that's why they're on fucking loan, right? I would advise you to listen to any interview with any United player, Casemiro, Masraoui, Bruno, whoever it is, and speak to them about the manager and what they say. And all they say is great things. Really cares, dedicated to their career, just wants the best for Manchester United. He is the next coach to take us to winning things. That's what all of them say. So we can't be that bad of a man manager, can he? Right, now we dive into the comment section. And listen, the comment section is a dangerous world. It's you know, the upside down in Stranger Things. It's sometimes, I'm not saying using this as justification, but I just thought some of these comments were really, really funny. So, first on the screen, Arsenal lad paying for his haircut with Klarna. Love that one. 250k is bollocks. Romano said it himself. The bitterness is crazy. I'm a City fan, but the salt here is palpable. The 250k thing was a fake account, and if they would have done nothing in the window, you all would have mocked them for having no ambition. This is a City fan saying this. It's crazy to have a podcast on United without a single United fan in the video. You can smell the salt. Dude is pissed about missing out on Mbuemo, yet can't even get his name right. My God, this brother doesn't know ball, just hates United. Trying to say Garnacho is a team player, but Bruno isn't. How daft can you be? Need I say any more, people? Now, just to finish this video, because I don't want to dedicate too much of my time just to this, because it's just not worth the time, is it? So we're on the 9-minute mark. We're not going past the 10. I think one thing I've definitely taken from this is United still get under everyone's skin. Even in our banter period, 4 finals in 5 years, won 2 of them. We've got an Arsenal fan and a Newcastle fan who have probably won 2 in the last 6 or 7, right? A Carabao Cup and an FA Cup. Arteta won it with Emery's team, and Newcastle have done it for the first time in 50-odd years or whatever it's been. So I'll leave that there. Personally, I don't get where this rivalry comes from with True Geordie and United. And, like, they're not even in the conversation of big clubs when you're talking about Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United. They're not in it. So stop trying to force it. You are not in that conversation. Yeah, obviously the past couple of years you've been a better team. That's it. That's if you want to hang your hat on that, that's absolutely fine. But this guy sounds like a bitter ex-boyfriend when talking about Manchester United for a girl who's left him for someone better. It's a weird situation. I don't know what's going on, but he is extremely salty about our club. So I think our club needs defending. We are hated, adored, never ignored. Why don't you get a proper Man United fan on there so they can actually defend the club and not listen to you lot waffling shit? Thank you very much.